Just ahead here on Litter Media, we're going to talk about Frontline Appreciation Day coming up Saturday, April 18th from 2 until 6 p.m. What's it all about? We will learn more with Greg Phillips and Dan DeGarmo here in just a matter of moments. This report brought to you by Hometown Motors Incorporated, 818 Eastern Avenue in Chillicothe, where it's mowing season. Cut in total professional comfort. Husqvarna. Available now at Hometown Motors Incorporated, 818 Eastern Avenue, Chillicothe. We have with us today Greg Phillips and Dan DeGarmo here on Litter Media, and we're talking about Frontline Appreciation Day, which is coming up on Saturday, April 18th from 2 until 6 p.m. And Dan, we'll let you start with explaining what this idea is and how it came about for you.
Sure. Basically, Dan, it just comes down to how can we, and I thought, how can I say thank you? But then I wanted to extend that to all of these people on the front lines. And I'm sure I was not the only one feeling like, they're out there sacrificing and risking all for us, keeping us safe, holding this community together. How can we tell them thank you? And I had some ideas rolling around in my head, and they're a little crazy, and which led me to calling Greg Phillips, because he's a little crazy too, a good kind of crazy. He's a great guy. And I'm a Christian. I'm not ashamed of that. I'm not here to preach to anybody, but because I follow the teachings of Jesus, there is a story where he healed 10 lepers, and one of them came back and said, thank you. And his response to that one healed man is a very powerful teaching for me that I need to say thank you more than I do. And we're putting this idea together, Dan, where we will go to our community. They don't have to come and gather in one place. We can respect the quarantine and the social distancing and stay at your home rules. And we're going to be going to the community per day for those 4 hours with a video camera in the back of my truck and a videographer back there. Hunter Coughlin's going to be doing it. And we're going to capture as much video and pictures that we can to eventually put a montage or a package together that will disseminate to everybody. And I'll have Greg talk about this here, all the different kinds of people that are out there working for us and protecting us and keeping us safe today. So Greg, take it from there.
Thanks, Dan. You know, when we talked about Frontline Appreciation Day, the word frontline, it sounds military, and then kind of maybe leads you down to, police, fire. Certainly during this pandemic, we would be talking about hospital workers. And as we begin to talk and discuss about who's on the front line, that expanded so quickly to the amount of people who we wanted to say thank you, as Dan earlier mentioned, and to appreciate for the little things that people are doing, the big things people are doing, the things that people don't see that we probably all take for granted because it's not the industry we work in particularly. I'm just drawn really to, prior to kind of the shelter in place, I'm a known cult follower of the Kroger on Western Avenue, which, because I live literally, 2 minutes away, I'm there probably 4 or 5 times a day, is the joke with some of my high school students that work there. They see me more there than they do at school. But then I just, when I drive by, or when I have had to go to pick up a click list or, grab an essential item, I see, these high school kids. I see people pushing carts, sanitizing carts, just the little things that we all take for granted. And so that kind of grew into, people who working in nursing homes. I know Dan had earlier mentioned about getting a message from someone who said, I'm, an individual that goes in and takes care of people at home. I'm a home healthcare nurse or a home healthcare aide. We want to honor all of the people, not just fire and EMT and police and hospital workers. God, they are doing amazing work, and they deserve everything that comes their way when it comes to honor and respect. But there are so many more. And I'd mentioned also, Dan Ramey, somebody like you who wouldn't ever expect to be appreciated on Frontline Appreciation Day, but the fact that you get behind a microphone and you keep this community connected when we're kind of stuck at home matters, and it means a lot. And
Absolutely.
we want to honor every nook and cranny, and we feel that the community wants to as well. And we want to honor that wish by not having people to have to congregate or go anywhere except literally out their front porch, into their yard, if they want, or they can send us a message. Matter of fact, I just received a text message from a police officer who said, I'm probably going to be working, but here's somebody I'd like to have honored. And they kind of sent a picture and a little note. And so I'm going to compile that, and we'll give that to Hunter, and he can compile that in his slideshow.
I love it. I love it.
It's about honoring, and the individual that they named wouldn't be somebody that would be considered frontline in a normal era. But this isn't normal.
That's
and
right.
we feel that people want to say thank you, and they want to just wait. And you don't have to have a sign made. You can have your kids make up a sign, but you can just come out and just wait. Just be a human and just say, hey, thank you. Maybe you have somebody specific you want to mention that's in your family who's going to work every day, putting themselves in harm's way. Goodness, I know the Amazon guy, the UPS guy, they make enough trips to my house. But you know what? I was able to get weed eater string. And somebody delivered that. So I didn't have to go to Lowe's, or I didn't have to go make an unnecessary trip. And so thank you to so many different facets of our community.
It is Frontline Appreciation Day, which is coming up Saturday, April 18th. 2 until 6 p.m. And we were talking, it's not really like a parade route per se, but you are asking individuals to send their address that you'll be driving by. That way you can come up with a bit of your own parade route, so to speak, and get their attention and get their waves and their thumbs up and everything.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And one thing I'm kind of excited about is I know that there are some folks in Chillicothe who are very expressive. And I can't wait until, and I don't want to put a competition out there, but I can't wait to drive past one of these houses where this family goes all out to say thank you. And they come up with a very creative and fun way to say thank you from their home, from their front yard. As we get closer to Saturday, and as we try to put the word out, and that's one thing I would ask any of your listeners is tell your neighbors. Maybe you could work this up and down the street, where we hit a street and the whole street is stepping out into their front yards or out their windows or whatever. We want to get the word out to as many people as we can. And Greg touched on this, that we're not going to be able to go out into the county. It's a safety issue and time issue. We just can't do that. So if you're outside the city limits, simply send us your own picture or your own little video clip or something that we can add to this package of data that we're going to have, and squish it all together and throw some music to it and let the creativity of our camera guy go to work and have an end product that is just going to be awesome and very expressive, so that if I'm a frontline worker and I'm watching this video, I'm going to cry because of all the people that are out there cheering me on. And right now, we're 4 weeks into this, 5 weeks into this. I think our frontline workers could use a pat on the back. I really do.
Absolutely. I'm grateful that Hunter was available. Hunter's normally a student at the University of Cincinnati, but I'm sure he's probably home right now looking for something to do.
Yeah, well, he's going to have something to do.
Yeah, we poached him fast.
Yes,
we told him that this gig paid really well, a sum of $0. And so we have to appreciate that he said, listen, I don't want money for this anyway. It's something that he feels that he can, it's his way of giving back. And
Yep.
He's excited to do it. And of course he feels a need because Dan DeGarmo and I, if we put together this video montage, I can't even work a iMovie on my phone and put that together.
Not my gift.
It would not my gift either. I don't think people would see much appreciation in it. So hopefully people appreciate that Dan and I left that to somebody more, definitely better than we are in the field of compiling data, putting it to music, cutting it, editing, and clipping it. We're excited. We think it's going to be big. Somebody had said, hey, can I just wear my Chillicothe hat? Or if I've got a Yaktangi Park shirt or something, that they've purchased, or an American flag or an Ohio flag, or maybe wine with DeWine, or, whatever that is. Absolutely. You can just come out in your Ohio State shirt and just wave and cheer. Hang a sign in your window. If you don't live in an apartment complex and you really can't, send us a clip. And it's going to be big, and big in a good way, not so Dan and I get credit,
right,
but so that the people who are keeping this community solvent and together right now get all of the, all of the credit for what
absolutely.
they're doing.
It all starts with a simple idea, and next thing you know, people are pulling out bed sheets and making signs.
Yes, yes.
So, Dan DeGarmo and Greg Phillips, thank you again. And if we have not said thank you enough to you guys for what you do, and through your churches and everything, and through the city and Chillicothe City Schools for you as well, Greg. Thank you again for your efforts. And here's a quick thumbs up and a wave for us to get things started. And remember, mark it on your calendar this Saturday, 2 until 6 p.m. And send the information to the FLAD page, the
event page. That's correct, Dan.
On Facebook. You can just search FLAD and it'll take you right to it.
Take you right to it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
See you guys.
See you.